Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
Last time I roughed out 4 table legs to thickness and length, and I let them acclimate in my shop for a few days. Now I'm going to square up 2 faces and then plane them to thickness. Because of the design of this table, these table legs don't actually need to be perfectly square, but I'm going to do it anyway. So that face that we just made nice and flat at the joiner, I'm going to put it up against the fence and make the adjoining face nice and square. With the legs squared and planed to thickness, it's time to start working on the rails, and I'm going to make those out of walnut. With the freshly edge jointed side up against the fence, I'm going to rip off the upper and lower rails from the table. So this board that I just cut the rough length is going to become the riser rails. And I'm going to get both riser rails out of this one chunk of wood. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut it to rough width. Now that I have all my rail stock cut to rough length and rough width, it's time to face joint one side and get it nice and flat, plane to the thickness, and then cut them to their final width. I could tell by the sound that the joiner was making as I was face jointing this piece that I was going to have a little bit of a hollow somewhere towards the middle. Now this chalk that I put on here really makes this evident. One more pass of the joiner should take care of that. So now that I have 2 nice and flat and parallel faces, I need to edge joint one side so that it's 90 degrees to one of the faces. Then I can cut these to their final width. I'm ready to cut all my rails to length. But before I do that, I'm going to square up one end. Up until now, the riser rails and the component that goes underneath the drawers have all been one piece to make ripping, face joining, and planing a lot easier. Now it's time to separate them into their 2 component pieces, one for each side. Before I can start laying out for the joiner, I need to cut these legs to length. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut one end square, and then I'll just batch them all off length. Before I mark out my joinery, I like to take all my legs and get them nice and flush on one end, and then temporarily clamp them together, and then just scratch a nice pencil line. With the joinery laid out, I'm going to stop part 2 here, and next time we should have all the joinery completed and the carcass assembled, and it should start to look more like a table. So if you'd like to build this hall table along with me, you can download the SketchUp file, which I'm giving away free on my website, and you could use that to get all of the dimensions that you need to build this hall table. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you'll come back for part 3. Thanks guys.